Welcome to a new season of the Umpire's Call, which coincides with the 50-over World Cup, which has just got underway. To answer our viewers' questions, we have, as always, our two umpires, Tushar and Sandeep. Tushar is an accredited ECB ACO umpire and also a tutor and development officer for cricket officials for Middlesex. Sandeep is an accredited ECB ACO Level 1 umpire. We have 6 questions for this show today, and some viewers want to know the umpire's view of Indian team selection and also how the nature of the game is impacted by using 2 white balls. Over to Sandeep and Tushar.
Thank you, Anika. Yes, indeed, we've received some very interesting questions from the viewers, mainly around the regulations for the ongoing World Cup. Tushar, can I request you to take the first set of these questions? The first question is on the power plays and the fielding restrictions in the 3 power plays, and what happens if there's an infringement to the fielding restrictions.
Thank you, Sandeep, and thank you, Anika. There are 3 power plays. The first power play is from over number 1 to 10, second from 11 to 40, third from 41 to 50. It's to do with the number of players allowed outside the 30-yard circle. For the first power play, teams can have a maximum of 2 players outside the 30-yard circle. For the second power play, 4 players outside the 30-yard circle. And for the third power play, a maximum of 5 fielders outside the 30-yard circle. If there is an infringement of this, then it's a no ball, which is followed by a free hit.
Sure. The second question is the ICC regulations for the World Cup for runners, whether or not they're allowed, substitute fielders, and concussion replacement players.
Thanks, Sandeep. So, as per the ICC match regulations, runners are not allowed under any circumstances. Substitute fielders are allowed if a nominated player is either injured or ill or goes off for any acceptable reason. The substitute player can come in field but can't bat or ball for the nominated player. Then the third category is replacement players, where a player is totally replaced by a new player. This is generally for concussion reasons, and they're called concussion substitutes. So this new player has to be a like replacement for the player who's going off, and this new player can bat, bowl, field, be a normal player in the team, and do anything that a nominated player would.
So just to be clear, Tushar, the concussion replacement player can come in only if it's an injury to the head or the neck?
Yes, so if it's a head injury causing concussion, then there can be a replacement if the medical team feel that it is necessary. The other clause in the ICC regulations is for COVID. So if there's a player who gets COVID and the medical team feel that the player should not continue in the game, then he can be replaced by a like-for-like another player.
The third question is also a very interesting one. This is on zinger bails, which light up. So when is the wicket actually down? When the zinger bail lights up, or when it completely comes off the groove? Because there's a split-second difference between them.
You're absolutely right, Sandeep. And first of all, the importance of the wicket being down is certain dismissals, like bowled, like stumping, like run out, needs the wicket to be put down for those dismissals to happen. Now, the wicket is down when a bail is off both the grooves permanently. That's what traditionally used to happen. Now with the zinger bails, the moment the zinger bails light up, a decision of a dismissal can be given. The wicket is down. Now, if you think about it, there are very fine margins when you're looking at frame by frame dismissals for especially for runouts, stumpings, and the zinger bails actually light up when it comes off one groove, whereas the dismissal needs to happen when it comes off both the grooves. The ICC regulations say that yes, as soon as the bail lights up, and in the subsequent frame, the bail, the bail does not come back and lie on its groove, i.e. it just stays off the groove, then it's a dismissal. But if you think about it realistically, the zinger bail will light up when the bail has not technically been completely removed from the top of the stumps, and therefore a batter can be out, run out or stumped a fraction of a second earlier than what would have happened if there were no zinger bails.
So this is one of those few regulations which is not loaded in favor of the batsman.
Yes, absolutely. That is the case. But it's meant to be to ease the umpire's decision, but I don't think it does actually. It's more for the crowd really to see that the bails are flashing, especially on telly.
Sure.
Right, Sandeep. Now it's your turn to answer a few questions. The first question that we have is, what is the law about waist high full tosses? And the second part of the question is, what is the law with regards to overhead bounces, and how is it different in the World Cup compared to the laws of cricket? So if you wouldn't mind answering that.
Yes, Tushar, I think it's pertinent to point out that the laws of cricket are with the MCC, and every governing league like the ICC can slightly tweak them for their respective tournaments. So as far as the ICC regulation for a ball which doesn't pitch and passes over the waist height of the striker standing upright at popping crease are concerned, that is called a no ball. So if it's a full toss, bowled either by a fast bowler or a spinner, which goes over the waist height of the striker standing upright at popping crease, that's called a no ball. The umpires can also decide whether or not such a ball is dangerous and might cause an injury to the striker, in which case they can issue a warning to the bowler. And in case two such warnings get issued to the bowler, then the bowler cannot bowl in that innings. As far as a bouncer which goes over the head height of the striker, again standing upright at the popping crease are concerned, that is a wide ball in the ICC regulations for World Cup. As far as MCC laws are concerned, that's a no ball. But as far as the ICC World Cup regulations go, any ball which is a bouncer, which means after pitching, it goes over the head height of the batsman standing upright on popping crease, that is a wide ball.
Thanks, Sandeep. That's very clear. So to clarify, if the batsman tries to ramp this ball or hook the ball, which is over his head, and gets a nick and is caught behind, then it won't be a wide ball. I believe the batter will be out.
Yes, if the batsman has reached it, touched it, it's not a wide ball. And as I just said, it's not a no ball either. So the batsman can be declared out. Whereas if you're following the MCC laws of cricket, then it's called a no ball and the batsman won't be out.
So why do you think there is this much regulation that ICC has put in?
I presume because the players who are playing this tournament are the best players in the world, and you would expect them to perhaps reach a ball which is be used to this kind of bowling, and reach a ball which is going over the head height of the striker. So because you're talking about the highest level of the game, and no ball is a more severe penalty, this has been kept as a white ball in ICC games.
Right. Moving on to the next question, Sandeep. When is a free hit awarded, and is any form of dismissal allowed during a free hit?
So free hit is again an ICC regulation. It's not in the MCC laws of cricket. Free hit is awarded by the umpire when any form of no ball is called. So it's not just the no ball which we just described, which is over the waist height of the batsman. It could be a foot no ball. It could be a ball bouncing twice before it reaches the popping crease. So any form of no ball will result in a free hit. And the only dismissals allowed in a free hit are those which are allowed for the normal no ball, which is obstructing the field, hitting the ball twice, and run out. Those are the only three dismissals that can happen during a free hit.
Sandeep, moving on to the next question, which I'm sure our viewers from New Zealand would be very interested to know the answer of. How would the tied matches be decided in this World Cup, both in the league phase and, hope not again, but in the finals if this was to happen?
Yes, Tushar, you've turned that phrase really well. So any tied match, whether it's in the league stage or knockout stage, will be decided through a super over. In case there is a tie in the super over, then we bowl a second super over. If there's a tie in the second super over also, then it goes on till the super over decides who's the winner. So we will not be resorting to, unlike in the previous World Cup, when in case there was a tie in the super over, they looked at the number of who had hit more boundaries. That's not the regulation for this World Cup. It's only super over which decides the tie, and until the tie is broken, you keep bowling super overs.
So, Sandeep, coming on to the Indian cricket team selection, what are your views on the team? Is it a balanced team? Do you think the team has it to lift the trophy on the 19th of November?
So, Tushar, there are billions of views on the Indian team selection. My view is that it's a very balanced team. All the bases are covered. There was a concern in the provisional team that we did not have an off spinner. So when India team is playing against opposing teams which have good left-hand batsmen, that would have been a chink in the armor. But I think that's been addressed with the inclusion of Ashwin. So it's a very balanced team. But there is one overriding concern which still remains, and that is that our top 5 or 6 batsmen they cannot bowl at all, unlike 1983 or unlike 2011. And in case we are to play our 3 best fast bowlers and the wrist spinner Kuldeep, then our tail will start from number 8. So that concern still remains, and that's where the importance of the all-rounders, Hardik, Jadeja, Ashwin, and even Shardul, that comes in. So overall, it's a balanced team.
Thanks, Sandeep. I have to agree with you on that one because Akshar Patel is a very good player, but he's more or less very similar to Jadeja, and not having an off spinner in the squad was slightly uncomfortable, especially if you're playing against a left-hander heavy team. So no, I totally agree with you. What are your views on the inclusion of Surya Kumar Yadav? Do you think he's the right choice for the 50-over game?
Well, he's done really well in T20s. Not really been a top performer as yet in the 50-over game, but he can be a wild card.
Yeah, I agree. If he gets going, then he can be destructive, and he's one of those X factor players that if he goes berserk for 10 overs, and that's game done.
Yes.
So I kind of agree that the team is well balanced. It's a good selection overall, and I feel that this team does have it in them to repeat what our guys in 1983 and 2011 did. So let's hope for the best.
Certainly. So I think, yes, Surya Kumar is an X factor. Right, Tushar. So there's one final question, which Anika mentioned in the introduction from the viewers, and that is our view on the usage of 2 white balls instead of 1, and how that has impacted limited overs, 50 overs cricket, using 2 white balls instead of 1, how that has changed the nature of the one-day game. Your views?
Thanks, Sandeep. I think the rationale for using 2 white balls was that the umpires were having to change the ball around the 35th over quite frequently. First of all, the ball would get dirty in dusty conditions, and the batters couldn't view it properly, so they wanted a ball change. And the dew factor also made the ball a bit slippery, and the bowlers couldn't grip it. So that's why they decided to go for 2 white balls, so that one from either end, so that each ball has to only last 25 overs. Now, the number of ball changes, I think, has gone down significantly as a result of that. But what it has impacted now is the bowlers, because teams which are dependent on spin now, obviously the very good spinners can bowl with the new ball, and they do quite often. But you tend to get more spin with a slightly older ball, which is not happening with two white balls. The other factor is reverse swing, which tends to happen after the 30th over. But these balls are only lasting 25 overs. So the reverse swing element has also been impacted. So I think it has impacted the bowling side, because teams who would rely on spin or on reverse swing are being adversely impacted because of this change.
That's quite right, Tushar. And if I can add just one more point, as the viewers will appreciate, the ball, if it is only getting to 25 overs, remains relatively hard. and hard ball is easier to score. So faster it comes, faster it goes. And that's why in recent times, we've been having a lot of one-day games where teams are regularly scoring over 300 runs. So these 300 plus games used to be rare in the in the olden days when only one ball was used. But now you're getting a lot of games where both teams are scoring well over 300 runs because of two new balls.
Thank you, Sandeep and Tushar. For more insightful videos related to cricket, tap on the bell icon and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Umpire's Call. We will see you in the next video.